Euphoria.
All right, look. In just a week, Kendrick has seemingly taken down the world's biggest artist in a rap beef, which was basically expected, right? Like, Drake should have never tried to out-rap Kendrick. But this last weekend has really proved that, like, this is much... Like, I think this is much more than a rap beef and battle. Like, it feels like empires are at war right now, and it feels like the West Coast is, like, damn near fighting the music industry, which is just insane. But it doesn't feel like Kendrick versus Drake anymore. Like, and you can say what you want about either side of the battle when it comes down to it. Like, Kendrick is shooting down every piece of branding Drake has ever used to represent himself. And I really believe that Drake has been, like, trying to do this even, you know, like, before this beef even, like, really kicked off. And when I speak on, like, brands being destroyed, I mean they are, like, reassociating the terms or phrases or, like, album names to either negative things or, like, in Drake's case, I think he's tried to do this with, like, other artists, making them, like, that's a little tinfoil hat-ish, but it's commonplace now on the internet, like, you know, you reuse, like, stuff that's being searched. Well, now they're, like, reassociating what's being searched, you know, and they're changing the meaning behind things, and this is it's way more diabolical than, like, I really even notice. Even what, you know, as diabolical as a lot of these words that are being said are, like the business behind all this is insane. Let's start at the beginning, right? But I noticed something after Kendrick mentioned Zach Bia, right? And which amazing that happened. Let's do a little round of applause for Zach Bia taking a shot. You know, that's pretty funny. You know, and I like Tizo Touchdown. I really like Tizo Touchdown's last album. So I don't, you know, I kind of am upset that he took a shot. But if you look at Zach Bia's Instagram and like him and Tizo did something, like a song together, and it's called Damn in all capital letters. And that to me is like, I don't know if that's the start of it. I don't know if Drake has done this before. Maybe, you know, maybe you guys can point out some stuff that Drake has, you know, reassociated some other Kendrick stuff on his own or with artists that he's associated with. And Drake may not really be that associated with Tizo. I just know that he endorsed his album, which when I saw that, like, I knew who Tizo was, but I didn't like Tizo at the time, and I saw Drake endorse him, and I'm like, why would Drake be endorsing this guy? And then a friend of mine showed me a Tizo song that I was like, oh wow, this song is really good, and I was like, oh, this album is really amazing. So I was like, okay, maybe Drake just thought it was a good album, endorsed it, blah blah blah, whatever. But then you see the Damn thing, and it's like, interesting. But to really start at the beginning like that, Kendrick put his little mousetrap out, right? And I don't think the song has any major damage on Drake's branding, but, like, it did erupt the internet, and that's what Drake's ego is built around, and so it did exactly what it needed to do. If you want to say there's a real attack on, like, Drake's branding, it's that he mentions For All Your Dogs Getting Buried. I mean, that's not going to affect, like, it's not like, if you Google For All Your Dogs, that's not going to come up at all. But then the real damage starts to take place. So Drake does his little, you know, firing back, whatever, you know, Euphoria drops. Euphoria, and everyone's like instantly, like, they caught on, like, oh, Euphoria, you know, show about focus on high school people, underage people, you know, sexualizing them, doing things like that. And it's like, all right, right off the bat, you know, Kendrick is now associated with Euphoria. One of his biggest songs, one of the best diss records ever, is called Euphoria, and it's shining that light. I don't know, I mean, Sam Levinson personally is going to affect Euphoria more than this song ever will, but it's just like, it's now further cemented that this show is associated with younger women, hypersexualization, all that, and Euphoria is, like, not fully credited to Drake, but he's an EP on it, and he has association, and he probably won't anymore. That's the thing. Like, if Euphoria does a season 3, I don't think they're gonna put Drake's name on it. So that's one huge brand killed for Drake right there. Is where Kendrick starts the deadbeat angle, which to the public eye, Drake did seem to be like a loving dad. Like, the second, like, he did seem to be a loving dad, and, like, the second you question it, you start to think, like, there's no way he can be as active as he is and do all the stuff he does constantly and still be like a good dad. He is, you know, he is a club guy. He's a gambler. He's a party. You know, it's like all this. Like, you know, granted, like he still could be a good dad. Like I'm not gonna say that I know who Drake is, but like you can't look at him and think like, oh, that can't be true. You know, it's like, oh, that's gotta be true. You know, like there's no way of looking at it other than that. And Drake being a dad is another part of his brand right now. Unfortunately, Pusha T made him be a dad. You know, and then so he ever since then he's been a dad and he's been trying to appear like a good dad. 616 in LA, right? Kendrick drops the infamous timestamp series and like completely cuts off Drake from doing it, and honestly probably won't ever do it again, you know. So that's another one dead. But this one is expected, and it's genius. I really can't believe Drake didn't drop the Heart Part 6 like before this, because he did after. That would have been the easiest, pettiest move. That's the Drake move. That would have been the easiest move he could have done, and he let Kendrick do that to him. Like for him to just go ahead and drop Heart Part 6 after is like a terrible look. You know, he may have killed that for Kendrick, but Kendrick, I believe Kendrick will either drop. I think Kendrick's gonna drop the Heart Part 6 still. I think he's going to. I think he's gonna do it, and I think it's gonna be way more effective than that song ever was. And there you have it. Timestamp series Drake killed. He can't even timestamp anymore, and that's the one thing people were saying he had left. But then also you have the discussions of the OVO mole. You know, there's the cover art, and even him just saying dude's about to lie on him. Like even in Euphoria, he was saying like, oh, you're gonna lie on me, you know, using family stuff because you heard Mr. Morale. You know, I don't know, it just kind of, you know, him just associating Drake with being a liar already just makes everything Drake says after that a little bit less credible. You know, it made the majority start to question it, and when you question it, there's a lot more evidence pointing one way and there's no evidence pointing another way, and it's just yeah. 616 in LA might have been my favorite song of all this. God, it was really the chess move of a song. Then you have Family Matters, right? Whether you want to believe Kendrick had info or that Drake fed him info, that's up to you. But the fact of the matter is that this was the most important moment for Drake in this whole beef. And he begged Kendrick to drop for 2 weeks and antagonized him any way he could with AI Tupac and AI Snoop Dogg, the thing that really probably made all this really bad. And then Kendrick finally dropped, and Drake had so much to respond to. It was impossible for him to respond to all of that and find a way to attack Kendrick. But he just tried to skip defending it at all and tried to attack back, and he had to find a way to do both. That's the only way he would have stayed in the race at that point. And I don't know, you know, Kendrick obviously heard it, you know, beforehand, was ready. And bro, he stepped on it completely. Like there's no way, you know, like people, like, look, if you watch DJ Academics talk about this stuff, he has trouble remembering Family Matters' name. He doesn't remember the name of that song often. And Family Matters isn't a brand yet, but that was a moment that was super important that he completely killed instantly, way faster than we've ever seen on anything. Like, yeah, and that one, I don't know. Yeah, they're also brutally like smart. This is business at its finest. This isn't even hip hop anymore. This is just calculated business moves, and Drake is really gonna hurt from this. But on to Meet the Grams. The craziest part about this is that besides the thing that hasn't been confirmed yet, which is the 11-year-old daughter, like none of this is new information. He just retold Drake who he is and things that he's done in the past, and that was the scariest song anyone has ever heard. Like, I don't actually mean it's the scariest song, but it's like, it's so jarring to hear the world's biggest pop star get ripped apart on a song for like 5-6 minutes with the things he's shining a light on. This affected Drake by completely changing the way you look at his character, and this is affecting Drake's name as a whole. It shoots down his NBA ties, it shoots down the embassy. This affects Drake's everything right here. Like this was the, you know, this was the killer. And now we have Drake the Saint, like, who never lost anything in his life, like, you know, besides Pusha T, I guess, but he still somehow was winning after that. Like he's a loser, and the old Drake that we knew, this winner, like, is just that's not existing anymore. Lastly, we have Not Like Us, right? Instantly, you know, Drake's part of responses was, you know, he tried to mention YG. He tried to do the Jay-Z thing where he's just gonna name drop everybody and act like they're on his side. But it's like, no, Mustard, it instantly is just shooting down Drake's credibility even more. It's not smart of Drake to try to use YG against Kendrick at all. But this is where Kendrick takes a shot at Tizo, right? Which is what made me even do the research on the whole Zach Bia Tizo thing anyway. But it's what made me really think that this was like a SEO battle. This is SEO wars. This is search engine optimization wars right here. Like, Kendrick is really annihilating everything that is associated with Drake. And then you got the Certified Lover Boy line, which that album title, will forever be associated with this now, especially with the album cover. It looks crazy, but like, the real thing to take a hit in Not Like Us is OVO, because LA is going to be chanting OVO all summer, and there's nothing Drake can do about it. Like, how is OVO Fest going to happen this year? How can it go on? Whether this is true or not, like, OVO Fest happens the first week of August every year. Metro and Future are in Toronto August 11th. So it's the second week. But what if they bring out Kendrick? What if Kendrick is in Toronto on OVO Fest week? Like, that'd be insane. That'd be insane. Like, we got a summer ahead of us. I don't know what it's going to be. We don't know what's going to happen from this. But yeah, I mean, to continue on with Not Like Us, like, the last thing about it is the Atlanta breakdown. Like, this is probably the biggest hit of the whole song too, because like ATL, they might not want to associate with Drake after that being like the breakdown of Drake. And even if there's artists there that like are still cool with Drake, like, they may just have to not be, they might have to like not be publicly cool with him now. Like, all right, another question is, where is 21 Savage at? How are him and JID gonna go on tour this summer? Like, what this summer is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. And yeah, ultimately this just doesn't seem like it's rap beef. Like, this is not rap beef. This is not Kendrick versus Drake. I'm gonna put a tinfoil hat on and think about like the rumors that have been going around with Drake owning some of UMG, or like wanting to buy part of it. I think like if Kendrick caught wind of that, he just came in and was like, no, I'm not letting that happen. Like, he kamikaze this. He said, I'll go out, I'll take myself out if I have to. Like, you're not getting away with this. You're not gonna exploit like hip hop music as much as you like have, and then like and make money off of other artists. And that like really seems like that'd be like the one thing to actually hate this guy over, like. And why part of his like exploitation has been like one of his biggest angles. And I think most of the industry might be aware of this, and that's why like like the only people that are commenting on all this stuff is people that get paid to comment on things. Like, no one else has really been talking about it, and they're still silent, even as big as it's gotten. Like, it's just very interesting. Kind of think that the industry, like all these people, kind of like even the people that were maybe close to him or like, I don't know, maybe appearing to be on his side in the media, I think they might have led Drake down this trap. Like, I think everybody just led Drake down this trap. How did he think he could come out of a rap battle against Kendrick? Like, I really don't understand how he let the ego get the best of him, knowing that like the internet already, like, he's on the internet. Drake is not as dumb as he is appearing to be, and that's what makes all this so insane and why this isn't over. But Kendrick really has like killed everything about this guy's brand, like in the matter of less than a week. And that's all I got for this video though. But yeah, that's it. Take it easy. See ya.